Travolting, covering Get Shorty, with Cathy and Mary-Grace Schumann. Enjoy the episode.
We're rolling.
Stuart.
He's already so far away from the mic.
Stuart.
Jeffrey.
I need help.
Why do you need help?
I'm down low. I need you to get me up.
Wait, you're down low?
I need you to get Shorty.
But bump.
All right.
Redo that. Redo that intro. Come on, man. Well, what are we doing here?
We were getting Shorty.
Getting Shorty.
We're getting Shorty.
Yeah, we're getting Shorty. You know who we're getting Shorty with?
We're getting Shorty with the Schumans.
The first two returning guests, both in their second incarnation on the Travolting podcast.
That's right.
Yep.
We're joined by the dynamic duo Cathy and Mary-Grace Schumann this weekend, from fame of Grease and Look Who's Talking.
Oh, I'm very happy to be back. Very proud.
I don't know how happy I am, but I really love you, Jeff. So
You guys are our first returning guests. How does it feel to have that distinction?
I was proud to be asked back. What about you, Cheech?
yeah, I mean, I'm here.
I mean, Mary Grace, you're the one that dropped the bomb about Scientology and Look Who's Talking.
I did do that.
You
yeah.
irrevocably changed the direction of this podcast.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
with
what can I say?
5 simple words.
What can I say? You're welcome. What were the 5 words?
Look Who's Talking is Scientologist.
Oh.
I just had to make that up right then and there. Those are the
It's like,
5
what were
words.
the 5?
So
Yeah.
you guys agreed with her?
I mean, after she explained it, there's no way you
I
can
couldn't
refute
deny
it.
it.
You can't refute it. Like the whole, we don't want to go down too much on this, but the whole L. Ron Hubbard reincarnation bit, the logic's too sound,
Yeah.
and for me, it kind of broke me a little bit in the podcast. For folks who haven't listened to that episode yet,
This is a plug for our Look Who's Talking episode.
Go-
Check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe.
just go to that episode and go to the 44-minute mark, or maybe it's the 24-minute mark.
I think it's the 55.
It's the 55.
Just listen to the whole thing.
Wow, this guy knows. So go to that minute mark, and you'll get
No,
my reaction.
Listen
to
to the whole episode, and then
listen to the
then
whole
go
episode.
back, and then send all of your friends it and be like, "Listen to this. This is the craziest thing I've ever learned."
But Look Who's Talking came up a little short for me. And you know what else?
You know who else came up a
I see
little?
what you did there.
You know what? You know what other film came short for me personally?
Did you get Shorty?
It got Shorty.
You got
you
Shorty.
didn't get Shorty.
Get Shorty got Shorty with me.
Ooh.
How many of these do you think there are going to be in this episode?
I'm not sure.
I don't want to do another bit. So in the Pulp Fiction episode, whenever we said something film bro-y, we added a ding noise, and which Jeff didn't think that bit would be funny, but I got a lot of comments.
It's very funny.
It's very funny. I don't think I'm going to do that for this one, but just pay attention to our Get Shorty comments.
So Get Shorty, you didn't like it, or it just.
Oh, you're getting right into
we're
it.
gonna get into it.
Okay.
I will say we're gonna talk about the context of this film. Jeff probably did 8 hours of research on this last night.
I was up all last night.
Clearly- Wikipedia.
Clearly had no
I
other
had
plans.
nothing else going on
He
yesterday.
had nothing going on.
Stuart, you sound a little rough, buddy. What did you do yesterday?
If my voice sounds a little hoarse, I might have been
It was my
wailing
birthday
away
yesterday.
Britney Spears Toxic at a Irish pub.
Good times are had by all. But yes, I did do a little bit of research on this movie. I have it pulled open right now to do our little context corner. We usually start the episodes with.
Yeah, but, and just to answer your question though, Cathy, as like a prologue, that I feel like this movie is very appealing to certain types of people.
Like me?
I'm just not that type. Like I watched this and I'm like, I can visualize and understand the person who would like this type of movie.
And you're looking at him right now.
And I'm looking at him right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
We're going to have an even 50-50 split on Get Shorty this episode, I think.
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Well,
So-
I have opinions that are not all like positive.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Give us
Yeah.
the context, Jeff.
Yeah.
First and foremost, in terms of context, thank you all for listening and sticking through us through last week's painful episode on White Man's Burden.
Oh yeah, this is
we
the.
we had to talk about it.
We're going from White Man's Burden to Get Shorty.
Yes.
Oh God. Oh no.
Did I see
The less said about that movie, the better. Thank you for sticking through with us on that one. But Travolta at this point this is the first movie that really comes out that he films like post the release of Pulp Fiction. Like White Man's Burden came out of Pulp Fiction, but it was still like before he had become an A-list star again. But this is his first movie where Pulp Fiction revitalizes his career. He's A-list again, and this is the first role he really agrees to with that new clout that he has.
Yeah.
He gets paid an insane amount of money for this movie. He got paid, I believe, $3.2 million for this movie.
Versus how much did he get paid for Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction, I think he was under $1 million. $3.5 million for this movie.
Whoa.
1 year later.
Yes.
Wow.
But he took a pay cut for Pulp Fiction. It's not that
Yes.
he was worth that low at Pulp Fiction.
It was just that Pulp Fiction was indie.
Yeah.
But even prior to Pulp Fiction, he's not pulling 3.5 for like Look Who's Talking 3.
I was about to say, how much did he make for Look Who's Talking?
He probably got a free meal, accommodations on set,
Maybe a trailer
maybe a trailer
with a bathroom.
but like it was like a U-Haul.
Oh God.
Just put a couch in.
Yeah.
But no, he has a lot of clout coming out of Pulp Fiction. He's looking for his next role. This film, Get Shorty, based on a book by Elmore Leonard, who is a big-time crime novelist, Western novelist. He very much fits into like the Quentin Tarantino mold. Jackie Brown, Tarantino's third movie, I think.
Yeah.
Third or fourth, is based on one of his books. 310 to Yuma is another movie that's based on one of his books. He's a very successful crime and Western thriller writer that's had a lot of film adaptations. His novels are known for having like kind of he writes like a Tarantino movie.
Yes.
And his books he has passed away since, but in his time, his books were always very quickly adapted because they could be put into something that was affordable to make, but still had some pop culture recognition and a flair to them that you didn't really get out of.
Yeah, I mean, just watching the film production value wise, there isn't a lot of like something that you would read in the script and from a producer standpoint and be like, I don't know about this, man. We got 5 cars blowing up. You know, like Broken Arrow where you're blowing up 3 helicopters. This movie's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
A lot of airplane travel shots.
It's this movie, and this is something that was involved. Originally, MGM purchased the rights to this book, and they offered it to Tarantino, who was not interested in directing this movie. He preferred to direct Jackie Brown, which is based on a novel called Rum Punch.
Yeah.
However, he did read the script for this and say, Travolta is perfect for this guy, Chili Palmer. Travolta was originally like reticent to do it. He's like, I don't know, I kind of played like a similar character in Pulp Fiction in terms of being a criminal. He wasn't sure if he wanted to do that again. Tarantino said, no, this is a great role for you. You should absolutely do it.
I mean, he probably said, yeah, this is that role again, and you need to do it again.
Yeah, because this will solidify your newfound fame.
Yeah.
Or not refound fame.
Yeah.
So he boards this movie on Tarantino's recommendation.
Barry Sonnenfeld directing.
Barry Sonnenfeld directs. I think this is his first movie. Wait, no, he had directed the Addams Family movies prior to this.
Nice.
How soon after this does he direct the first Men in Black?
I think immediately after.
Because Men in Black
Love
was
Men
98?
Yeah, who doesn't?
97.
97.
But he, Sonnenfeld comes on board, Tarantino comes on board. The studio wants to rewrite this movie to be less like a book, because most of the dialogue in this movie is ripped straight from the book. They didn't like reformat it for a movie.
It feels like it.
It's written.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's written in prose. And the studio says, no, we need to rewrite this. Let's get like a Tarantino to come in and do a script doctor run on it. Travolta says no. Travolta's the one who fights for this to be played as is. He wants that flair that he gets from the book when you read it. So the script goes unchanged. It's written by Scott Frank, who's a extremely successful screenwriter. If you've never watched any of Scott Frank's movies, they're all very good. He does a lot of like crime things. He wrote Spielberg's Minority Report.
Oh, okay.
A lot of James Mangold's movies like Logan. He writes very similar movies. He's a very successful screenwriter. I like his script for this, but it is very much in the style of the book.
Yeah.
But Barry Sonnenfeld comes on board after having directed the two Addams Family movies exclusively, and something called For Love of Money with Michael J. Fox.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
You got excited for a second.
Yeah.
And then he does this, and it's kind of the... I mean, the Addams Family movies were successful, but this is the movie that makes him as like an adult director who can like get a movie made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes on from this to do Men in Black, Wild Wild West.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
And ends up killing his career with Kevin Spacey turns into a cat movie, 9 Lives, which came out right around which, in addition to receiving a whopping, let me check the. In addition to receiving a whopping 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, with the score, with the reviews literally just saying "not meow, not ever."
That movie came out 2019, 2018?
2016. It came out months before Kevin Spacey's allegations came out.
And also, like, that type of talking cat, talking pet movie was 15 years outdated.
Yeah,
Yes.
not
Like,
good.
I almost wonder if like someone was like, "Kevin, you do this movie, or we leak the allegations." Like, is that how that movie got made?
All right, Jeff.
What?
all right, so that's our context corner.
Yeah, that's the context corner. Like,
Big cast.
yes, big
big
cast in
cast.
this movie. This is also produced by Danny DeVito, who is also in the movie.
God, I love Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
With his Jersey Films company that had also just done Pulp Fiction. So he, Travolta, Tarantino, and they're all kind of like in the triangle of working together right at this point.
Interesting.
So they-
Okay.
they jump-
3 nice Italian boys.
Yeah, we love
Yeah.
3 nice Italian boys.
Mamma mia.
Spicy and meatball.
Well, we
Rigatoni.
Mud on the Mia.
Yeah, this movie goes in production by all accounts. It was a fine shoot. I couldn't find anyone like, no, this was awful. Travolta was Tarantino's first choice, but they had also considered DeVito previously to play Chili Palmer.
Oh, no.
He did not have the time to do it, but he's like, I would love to play the Martin Weir character. So he plays and I think he is perfect.
Yeah,
cast.
that's
He-
perfect.
that-
That's yeah.
The that would not make sense if the cast was if Danny DeVito was Chili Palmer.
Yeah.
No.
Because the whole spoof is like, yeah, no, doesn't
No,
make any
it
sense.
wouldn't work.
You need Tarantino. I mean, not Tarantino. You need Travolta's kind of like
Swagger.
swagger,
Cool guy suave.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool guy suaveness,
Handsome.
rugged charm.
Handsome, we said at the same time.
Yep, handsome.
Yeah.
Handsome.
You two are
In
gonna
quotes.
agree
He's
a
good.
lot.
He's
on
good
this.
looking in this movie.
He's so good looking in this one.
We're
Do
gonna
not
talk
agree.
about the hair. We are.
I
Gonna,
love the hair.
I don't hate it.
You don't.
I don't hate it. It's pretty
But your
good.
thoughts on the hair?
Not a lot. I mean, it's slightly better than like the average adult Travolta hair look that we had in the 90s. It's a little bit more stylized and slicked back, and like it looks like it has more purpose behind it. Whereas like movies like Shout, Look Who's Talking, and all the ones where it's like, he's an adult now. He's a dad. Give him dad hair. This one's like, they intentionally made him like kind of look, like a cool slick back hair, so it has a little bit more definition. Should we cue the hair ranking report? I feel like I'm
All
already
right,
getting
cue the hair
all right. Cue
ranking.
the hair ranking music. All right, this is the hair ranking report. We're gonna knock it out in the first 15 minutes of this podcast. But yeah, all my previous comments stand. It's just got a little bit more purpose, a little more definition, speaks to the character very well. And so, Jeff, if you could do me the honors of pulling up the hair ranking report,
want the hair report?
we're gonna put it on the list right away.
All right, here's the hair ranking.
Okay, so I can't believe Shout is like. Well, I guess like from Shout.
Shout is number 6.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the
Really?
thing. From Shout all the way until you get to Basements. So you just highlight all of those.
Yeah.
It's the same hair. It's the same hair. Like
Wow.
I would say Boris and Natasha, he does have like weird hair. It's weird hair. You see it for 5 seconds, but it's weird enough.
Five is a bit bold. I think it's closer to 3.
Yeah, and I really couldn't define it, so I like that Borsentosh is right smack dab in the middle right there. So put it above Shout, under Pulp Fiction.
Whoa, new number 6.
Why is Urban Cowboy that low? Well, I guess
because he wears a hat for most of it. He didn't like that.
Yeah, and he had a beard.
I believe your rationale was that the hair was good, but they cover it up too much for you to give it praise.
Why do you know this? It's astonishing that do you remember this? We need to add another column of just comments.
I won't frequently forget to eat, but I can remember the weirdest movie trivia or things on that we did on this show.
So Get Shorty is right under Pulp. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's man, we're at 24 episodes right now, right?
Yes. Well, no, we're at 20. Yeah, we're 23.
This is gonna be 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're at that episode.
It's weird seeing Get Shorty at number 6 that high. But it really is from Shout all the way until Basements. It just looks like the same hair.
As a reminder to all our guests, the lowest one is The Experts.
I agree with that.
Which, as a reminder
I
to our
don't know.
guest, The Experts is lower than the second lowest, which is The Devil's Reign, where he's wearing a hood the entire. Just to show you how bad his hair is in The Experts.
Yeah, but let me see.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're looking at a picture. Oh my god.
That's pretty brutal.
I stand
That's pretty brutal.
I stand by my
Yeah,
decision.
that's pretty brutal. What's number 1?
I believe it's
Staying
Alive.
Alive,
yeah.
the sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, let me see.
As bad as that movie is,
The hair.
the
The hair.
hair.
The hair is a winner.
Yeah, he has the Stallone.
He has the
Yeah,
Ram-
I like
he
that.
does.
He has
Yeah,
the
that's good.
Rambo. He has
Yeah,
the
that's
Rambo.
cool.
The Rambo Rocky 3 hair.
Yeah, for sure.
What a cutie pie.
Oh, the fluff. Oh,
Yeah, it's
the
good.
fluff. The
Okay.
grease.
No, thank you. That's enough, please.
So much wetness.
That's oh my.
Moist. It's moist.
Okay. All right, Jeffrey.
All right, that was the hair ranking report with a nice little catch up on how we're doing with the hair right now. Do we have anything coming up, Jeff, that you can give me some hope on? Because I feel like Pulp Fiction was
I mean, Stuart, we're 7 to 10 movies away from what I think is probably gonna be the craziest hair we're ever gonna cover.
Battlefield Earth,
Alien Dreads.
Alien Dreads.
And we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Man, when we get to Alien Dreads, Lord help us.
I'm pretty surprised the way you think that you're not. I thought you would like Get Shorty better.
You were
The movie or the
obsessed.
hair?
Stuart,
No, I'm not. I'm not obsessed with Get Shorty.
No, I mean you're obsessed with Stuart not liking Get Shorty.
I'm not really. But I don't know. I think it's more like a film person's kind of.
The film.
Movie.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Yeah, Stuart has bad opinions sometimes. It's something we all have to deal with on this show.
Hey, man, we both like Last Jedi, so we're both going to
best.
die on
I
that
love
cross.
The Last
Ever.
Jedi. Best
Um,
Star Wars movie.
Yes, thank you we are nailing this into the ground on this.
And I'm not even judging because, like I said, I like it, but it's not something if it's on, I don't really watch it again.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed watching it the other day. I did.
It does. I agree with the comment. It reads as a film person's film because it's very talky. There's a
Yeah.
lot of that Spitfire dialogue and right. That's the thing. And there's a lot of reasons for a film person to like it.
Yeah.
And it just, can I say this on the podcast that we recorded Broken Arrow?
No, we've never recorded anything out of order on this show. It's never happened. Never will
Okay.
happen.
Well,
if we had hypothetically recorded,
if we had
Broken Arrow
hypothetically
already.
recorded Broken Arrow, which is supposed to release after this episode, hypothetically speaking, therefore I'd hypothetically watched it before watching this movie, and if hypothetically I have to weigh which movie I would prefer to watch twice, I'm going with Broken Arrow.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah.
I prefer Get Shorty as a movie, but Broken Arrow is a light, entertaining
It's a Saturday night you don't have a birthday party to go to,
Yes.
and
you throw on.
you're
Broken
throwing
Arrow.
you're just scrolling through the Comcast guide menu screen on the TV, and you see on TBS, Broken Arrow, TNT, Get Shorty. Which one you picking?
Probably Broken Arrow.
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
wanted to just like chill out, I'd throw Get Shorty on. Like if I just
Chill
wanna-
out.
Like if I just want to vibe out on the couch to a movie that has because
He's using a lot of lingo terms for get high,
Yeah.
kids.
I am not. You scandal.
I don't believe that.
But no, if I just want to like really just like have like a quiet night and watch a movie with a vibe to it, because I love this movie a lot because it just has such a vibe that I just get into.
I agree. It's very stylized.
Yeah.
It does have like.
Like I kind of get lost in it and just like space out almost in a good way for me.
Same
That's our
thing, but in a
contention we're
bad
gonna
way.
have.
Yeah. Spacing. I space out in a not so good way.
I did the same thing.
She did too.
Yeah.
I was sitting next to her.
Yeah, I
Can't
did too.
confirm.
I was just like,
And
okay.
I kept
I
saying,
glazed
"Pay
over.
attention."
I was like, oh, okay.
So while we're talking about our perceptions of the film, shall we go into the plot points?
Yeah, we were gonna do the cast, but I think we'll just do the cast when those characters come up in the movie.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't see any reason to front load with all the cast.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
Oh yeah, so we start off
Right away.
Yeah, in Miami, Florida.
There is a title sequence, but it's not in the beginning.
Yeah,
So we just start right away with
Travolta in a old
Travolta.
barbershop.
Not an old barbershop, a
We were at
restaurant.
a
A
restaurant.
restaurant. And he's chatting
He's
with.
spacing out in the beginning already.
Yeah, come on,
I thought
Jeff.
it was a barbershop too.
No, they're at a barbershop eventually, but not in the
Yeah,
beginning.
it's
In the beginning,
later
they're
in
a
the film.
restaurant. Yeah.
And from
Because
what
the
I-
coat thing happens. How could the
True.
coat thing happen
Okay,
at a barbershop?
okay.
Yes.
and he's at this restaurant with Gennaro from Jurassic Park.
Gennaro, I wrote that too. Martin Ferrero.
There are several Jurassic Park cast members in this movie,
There
but none of the
are.
leads. It's like all this like the one scene guys from Jurassic Park are in this movie.
Yep.
It's very strange.
We have Dennis Farina from Law and Order,
Yeah.
Detective Lenny Driscoll.
Chicago PD.
Is he on PD?
No, but I mean he was a real Chicago cop, I think.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Dennis Farina.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
he was born in Chicago's Old Town neighborhood. He is descended from Sicily. Spent 18 years in the Chicago Police Department. Served in the Vietnam War, and then became Michael Mann's police consultant on the film Thief, which is a great Chicago movie.
Is there a biography written about him?
Probably.
It sounds like a biography I would actually read.
Yeah, this sounds like a guy who lived a life.
My husband, every time Dennis Farina's on anything, says, that guy was a real Chicago cop. I know.
Yeah.
You've told me.
But he's in this movie, and him and Travolta are both like fellow mobsters, loan sharks.
So I'm
Collectors,
I'm
right?
looking up
Yeah.
Dennis Farina right now, and it doesn't look like he has a book written about him, but there's a lot of like online biographies. But I just want to point out this headline
Okay.
about Dennis Farina.
Yep, let's hear it.
Even Italian actor gets touched by the Shamrock. Dennis Farina at St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Chicago.
That's good.
Well, there you have it.
That's good.
But yeah, he brings a gravitas to this movie, based on the fact that he was a real cop and he has like that connection. But he's playing it so over the top, even with this gravitas, and it is so funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's playing it so intense, but so over the top. He just like walks in like, "Hey, how you doing, John? Chili?" And his name is Bones.
Look at me. Look at me.
I felt like that's what I do to my kids. Like when they're not paying attention.
What?
Look at me. Look at me. I think I'm always doing chili.
Oh my god.
So Bones comes in. He's ribbing Travolta a little bit, and Travolta's ribbing him back.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, but Bones makes a poor move, and he takes Chili's jacket.
His leather
He
jacket.
takes
Bad.
Chili's leather jacket.
And what
You
does
do
Chili?
not steal John
What
Travolta's leather
what does
jacket.
Chili do?
He goes to the barbershop he's at, breaks his nose, and takes the jacket back. It is the barbershop he goes to. Oh, wait, no, he goes to his house.
Yeah, he goes to his house.
Right.
Because the next scene's at the barbershop.
Because then Chili's at the barbershop.
Yeah,
With his
with-
broken nose.
Yeah.
And then he shows up.
And Bones shows up with like this huge broken nose.
Right.
It's so funny. I love the way this movie is shot. Because Barry Sonnenfeld, he was the Coen brothers cinematographer prior to becoming a director. So this has a very Coen Brothers feel to it in terms of shot structure and design.
Okay.
Like it's a lot of wides with like characters with no lines who just stare at the camera or stare at things happening for comedic effect.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of letting the whole sequence play out like in a wide. It uses depth and the camera a lot to add to the humor of a scene, which is a very Coen Brothers thing that Sonnenfeld, did in movies like Raising Arizona and Blood Simple.
Yeah, just not as well as the Coen Brothers in this movie.
Yeah, I would not disagree with that. He's no Coen Brothers to see, but
Yeah.
he does bring some of that style.
But so Bones shows up at the barber shop.
Yes.
And he pulls a gun on him.
Yeah.
But then Travolta gets the jump and shoots him like
He shoots him
right up the scalp.
right in the widow's peak.
Right in the widow's peak. And like, yeah. And then it's a title sequence.
Well, no.
No?
Because Travolta's like, you can't do anything to me as long as Momo's still around.
Cut
It's very
to
funny. They keep talking about Momo.
Yeah.
It's just like a very
Yeah.
funny name.
Momo from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We cut to Momo at this point.
Aw, little Momo.
I think Momo was the name of a real gangster.
I would not be surprised.
I'm sure.
I mean, this movie has so many crazy mobster names. It was like one scene away from Tony Meatballs walking in.
It's so true.
I remember there's a scene I'm forgetting about. Because Bones goes to like the head mobster of Miami.
Oh yeah, on the boat.
Mo Green.
Yeah, Mo Green
Hello.
from The
Mo
Godfather.
Green.
He was he appeared in a previous movie we've covered on this show. Alex Rocco. I can't remember what the movie is though, but I remember I got really excited about Mo Green appearing in it.
Are we getting to that point already where we see actors that we like? Where did I see them before? Oh, another John
I
Travolta
found it.
movie.
I wrote
movie?
in giant letters Mo Green on it. Boris and Natasha. He
Oh
played the
my gosh!
He played the CIA.
Boris and Natasha.
See, I wrote Mo Green in massive font here.
Did we cover Boris and Natasha?
We did.
I don't remember.
covered it twice.
Must have wiped it from my memory.
But Mo Green appears and he's like, you can't do anything to Chili as long as Momo's still around.
Cut to
Momo. And he's,
Yes.
he gets out of a car and he's walking up a flight of steps. And he's very out of shape and he's like,
it's like, and he says something like, "No surprises, please," because it's his birthday or whatever.
he doesn't like surprises. He gets up to his apartment, opens
Opens the door. Surprise party.
Yeah. And they're
Happy
playing.
birthday, Momo.
They're playing the Spider-Man 2 pizza music.
Well, listen. Here's the thing, Jeff. You can't call it the Spider-Man 2 pizza.
Yeah, I know it's called
music.
Funachuli Funachali.
Yeah, it's got a name.
But it's the Spider-Man 2 pizza
It
music. to me.
predates Spider-Man 2. But that being said, I also.
Okay, and then what happens to Momo?
He drops dead of a
And
heart
he
attack.
drops
dead of a heart
Mary
attack.
is trying to pull it together.
And then, okay, we have this. Can you guys explain to me what is up with this very long title sequence that was just
Credits.
credits, like the end credits? I skipped through this because I did not understand. I've never seen that before.
I mean,
in a
it's
movie.
blue credits though.
Yeah,
so
you're
it's
right. Never mind. It
cool.
was blue, so it was fine. I
No.
should have actually watched it.
And do they have a copyright song in the title sequence?
I think it's. I think there's some music over that, some score.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what Tarantino did in Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally just like
It's
cut
just the
to
words.
title sequence, credits, song.
Mhm.
That's kind of what they're trying to do here, but I agree it's a long,
It was long.
long title sequence, and it's just letters.
Yeah,
with
and I was
names.
already a little bored.
And then it said
So
John
Well-
Travolta, Gene Hackman.
my mother just flipped me.
Yeah.
I said I was bored.
Yeah, we list all the names. It lists like every person who worked on this movie. It's like massive fonts, like Grip number 7, like John C. I don't know, some name.
It's a perfect time to go to the bathroom if you were seeing it in the movie theater.
But I
Yeah,
feel
the
like,
opening
if you're seeing it
15
in the movie
minutes.
theater, you're only like 10 minutes in, you haven't even finished your Slurpee.
Yeah, right. So,
Yeah, we get through the credits.
we get through the credits.
I've aged twice.
Exactly.
yeah.
And we were already disagreeing because I said
Oh, yeah.
how cute John Travolta was.
Yeah,
And
I said that
she
he-
didn't
I
go along with
agree.
that.
I think he's pretty cute in this movie. But like,
Ooh.
no,
No,
Are
I'm
we
sorry.
all against Mary-Grace on this?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
because it's like Mary-Grace. Can't you like? Don't you know what a cute guy looks
I
like?
do. You know what? Are you? I think that was homophobic.
All right, well, no, let's have this discussion. Let's open this door. Let's have this discussion. Mary Grace, why isn't he cute?
I just.
We need answers.
He just looks old.
And then
He's 43. which isn't bad.
No, but he doesn't look like good old.
Oh my gosh.
He looks like a little
Totally
like.
does.
He would be.
I
It's
think
like a
that's
sad little dog.
ageist.
I do
I
too.
think that's very
Thank you.
ageist.
He would be exactly 40 when he films this movie.
Oh,
just-
okay.
41 when it comes out.
So coincidentally, right when he turns 40, Mary Grace doesn't like how he looks.
sorry.
I
He is
think
now
you're implementing the
40.
Hollywood standards.
I'm sorry.
And then she got mad at her girlfriend Beth because Beth went along with me, and then she's like, "Oh, stop trying to kiss up to my mother."
I don't know. I didn't. It wasn't even. You know what? Here's the thing. If my mother hadn't said anything about how he looked,
Was it creepy?
no.
'Cause I
I'm
said
just
hubba
saying. No, I'm just saying. I didn't think anything of how he looked. I was neutral. I didn't care.
And then you-
and
and then
then
we
she
thought
said,
about it.
"Oh, he looks so handsome." And then I said,
Eh.
"Does he really?" But I guess everybody disagrees with me.
I think
I don't get it.
there's a slight edge in this movie because of the hair for me. Like if I see him
The
in
hair
like
doesn't do anything for me, Stuart. It's just fine. It's just there.
I disagree.
It's not staying alive.
And it's not staying alive,
I
but
mean-
nothing can be. I think we're away from that era. We're not going back to the hair ranking, but Jeff and I we had a long conversation about this where it's like the age of young John Travolta good looking hair, it's gone. It's over. We got to let go. We're never going to get it back.
Well, you guys
No.
have to let it go because you're watching every John Travolta movie. I don't need to let it go.
You mean let it go, like as in this podcast, or let it go in life?
Just like
A little bit both.
a little bit of both. Just like the idea of like, oh, when's John Travolta ever going to look like staying alive? We're like, never.
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 No.
He's
Like,
never going to get that.
He's aging gracefully.
He's aging gracefully.
He's,
like
not, he's not trying to, at this point in his career, note I say at this point, he is not trying to recapture the power of his youth.
No.
can't wait.
He's becoming a new type of actor.
I can't wait until we cover The Fanatic.
Don't even talk about that.
I cannot wait until we cover that movie.
Wow.
And then we'll talk about the hair ranking.
Me and Mary Grace just look at each other.
But no, at this point, he's not trying to recapture his youth. He's accepted that he's not gonna like be that actor anymore.
That was the experts, and
Yeah.
look where that landed him.
where he's like
Bottom of the list.
yeah, where he's like 35 trying to play like an 18-year-old. It's
Yeah.
rough.
Ooh.
I mean, he's not just handsome; he's just cool in this
Yeah.
movie. He's
Yeah,
just,
he's cool.
like super cool in this movie. You
My
know?
God, Mary
Is
Grace.
he cool?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the shots where he's sitting in
Really?
like the dark room, just not moving at all, holding the cigarette.
Well,
he looks
I'll
so
say this:
cool.
he
Yeah.
smokes cigarettes, Mary Grace. So in Hollywood terminology, that means he's cool.
But look at how he smokes the cigarettes, though.
Okay, I actually want to have this conversation.
Okay.
I wrote this note for, I think, Broken Arrow and forgot to bring it up on the episode.
Okay.
John Travolta is incapable of smoking a cigarette like in a normal way. It's always some weird combination of fingers that you wouldn't naturally use, or like because there's a shot where he's dead ass using like his middle finger and thumb
To hold
but
a
like
cigarette.
leaving the like index and the pointer finger up.
That's not cool.
Like how
It's
you
so
would like
weird.
sip
Not
wine
cool.
with your pinky up or whatever.
Yeah, like he smokes a cigarette like he's drinking from a wine glass.
Oh my gosh.
And in this movie, he doesn't do that move specifically, but he finds very strange ways to smoke the cigarette instead of just like in between the fingers.
He's
or,
been fake smoking in movies since the 70s.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Why is he still having trouble with this 20 years later?
I think he's trying to mix it up after that.
trying to mix it
I think he's just like, okay, I've been doing the same shit for 20 years.
So you don't think he smokes in real life?
I think at
like-
this point, probably.
But do you think he's using it as like a?
Do Scientologists smoke?
Oh, good question.
Oh,
I don't know.
I feel like no.
I mean,
I would think not.
you're probably not supposed to smoke as like a Catholic, but Catholics smoke. But yeah, John Travolta holds cigarettes weird in this movie.
Yes, he holds them very weird.
Yeah.
He does it even more in Broken Arrow, which we are not. Gonna
Could that
talk
be
about.
like with his bad guy role that he's already playing over the top? Because he's
I
over
ju-
the top.
I just think John Travolta he wasn't always necessarily this way, but he's an actor, especially at this point in his career, who plays with his environment more.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some actors who are really good at this, and there's some actors who just don't do it, and that doesn't mean that they're a better or worse actor. It's just whatever grounds them in the scene.
Yeah.
But John Travolta is someone who likes to, play with the environment. He wants to be doing something with his hands.
Business.
Yeah, he
needs
likes
to be
he
doing
likes having
some
business
business.
because that puts him in the scene more.
Yeah.
Like if
Right.
he's just standing there saying lines at you, that's not. He feels like he's acting. But if he's allowed to like mix it up a little and be like, oh, I have a cigarette in one hand, or like I'm eating a cheeseburger, it gives him something to play with to ground him in the moment.
that's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What happens after the title sequence?
After the title sequence,
We're
back.
34 minutes in, by the way. This is going to be a 2-hour podcast. I
2
can
more
already
hours.
tell.
I'm trying to beat Becca, so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're trying to beat Becca or Pulp Fiction?
Yep.
okay.
Oh, lordy, lordy,
Okay,
lordy.
so here's something I need to know if this actually happens in this movie.
Okay.
Because I did not interpret this, but I'm reading that there's a 12-year time jump.
I saw that on
What?
the Wikipedia page too, and I didn't think that
What?
happened either.
Okay.
I saw the
'Cause-
same thing. I went to look at the Wikipedia page to read the plot, and it said there's a 12-year
Yeah.
jump, and I said, when?
Dennis Farina does not look 12
Yeah,
years
nor
old.
those coming from.
No.
Like for the listener at home, I use the Wikipedia bios of these movies to kind of like ground our conversation, just so I can
Right.
like keep a thread on it in addition to our notes. And it says 12 years later, 12 years later, Momo dies and Bones inherits Chili's list.
I did not think that was 12 years later, and I don't think
You
they
know.
said anything to
I don't-
indicate that there wasn't like a 12 years later.
Yeah,
that
I
was
d-
like the next day.
Yeah, it's
yeah, or like a couple
it's
months
straight
or
up the
something.
next day.
Yeah, like
so I think the Wikipedia page is wrong on that one.
yeah, I agree.
But after Momo's death, Bones becomes Chili's like capo. I think that would it be capo in the mafia?
I don't
Yeah.
know, you asked my mom. She'll
Yeah.
know.
Mafioso.
Because his boss is the boss
Mm-hmm.
now,
Yeah.
like Mo Green.
Yeah, Mo Green.
Right.
Mo Green's the boss, and then that
Right.
would make Bones the capo, and then
Right.
I guess Travolta's like a loan shark, and he just goes around and racketeers and gets money for the organization.
Right.
Breaks people's legs.
But now that Bones is in charge of Chili and making sure he gets all the payments due in time, he kind of sees that Travolta's been like playing with the numbers a little bit. Not in a bad way. He's just like he's been lenient on some people with the payments. Very
Okay.
specifically, a dry cleaner, whose name is Leo, who had appeared to die in a plane crash, and as a result, his debt was written off because he and the money presumably went up in flames.
Right.
Travolta goes to Leo's house and meets his wife Faye, who I remember you said you liked her outfit.
Yeah, her clothes were cute.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked her outfits. You know, I like to talk about the clothes.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
I
want
thought-
we want to hear about the clothes if you like them.
Yeah, I like her outfits were cute. She had like a fun, like little quirky style. I liked
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Amazing.
it's good.
She gets punched in the face in this
Yeah.
movie.
She does.
Bones
just
comes
socked
at
in
her.
the face.
She does.
Who punches
But her
her? I
outfit was
don't
cute
miss-
when
I
she
didn't-
got punched though.
Lenny Driscoll.
Why don't I remember that?
Yeah, he comes to her house and like it's like
He's like, yeah, you sent her away. I can't do that boy. I can't do him. I can't do anyone, but I don't know why.
who wasn't paying
Except
attention.
for Bill Clinton.
Okay.
I can only do Bill Clinton.
Why are we doing Bill? I turned away for 2 seconds. Why are we doing Bill Clinton?
I can't do any impressions except for Bill Clinton.
You could do Rocky.
I can do Bill Clinton and I can do an adequate Rocky. I think you were good last night. You should
Whether or not the impressions are good or bad has never stopped you before, though.
Yes.
Exactly.
Specifically not on this show. I'll tell you the one impression I can't do is Jack Nicholson, which is why it's great that he lives with me now.
Yeah.
He's out of the house right now, so we don't have to worry about him coming in.
Are you sure?
pretty
You've said this before, and he's walked in a couple
I'm
times.
pretty sure.
Wait, what? You live with Jack Nicholson now?
Yeah, he lives in this apartment with me. It's a long story.
Do you
Do
gotta
we have
listen-
time? I'm trying to be back on telling the story.
Yeah. You gotta listen to our Pulp Fiction and White Man's Burned episode.
Well, it's not White Man's Burn. It's Pulp Fiction and Broken Arrow where he comes in.
He doesn't come in during.
Well, no, he was out of the house during White Man's Burn.
He probably wanted no part of that.
He's not coming today.
He might. I don't know. I don't control him. He's off. Acting. He's going around the bars. We'll see if he comes by. But Leo's wife Faye.
Yeah.
Troll's like, is Leo dead? And she's like, no, he's not dead. He got drunk at the bar and missed his flight. The plane went down and exploded. He was presumed dead because he threw his hat. He left his bags went on the plane, but he didn't.
His wife found his hat.
Right.
Yeah, so they find his burned up bags.
No.
She screams
Right.
at the sky. That's very funny.
Yeah.
But he plays along with this, pretends to be dead, gets his loans essentially taken out because the mob can't collect from a dead guy, and then he collects a $300,000 life insurance policy from the airline.
Yeah.
So now he's loaded. He takes the $300,000 and heads to Vegas, leaving Faye. Very slimy.
Yes.
Travolta's like, I gotta hunt this guy down now and get his money. So he heads to Vegas after, he tells Bones, I just have some things to do. Because he's trying to pull one over on Bones with this one. Because he doesn't know about the $300,000. He only knows about, like, the whatever money that he owes the mob.
Yeah.
And how much was that?
I can't remember the exact amount. There's a lot of money talk in this movie.
I know,
I get
that's
all the
why I was
numbers mixed
asking.
up.
Especially
I do too,
when we get to Gene Hackman, there's like so many things. He owes like 3 different groups of people
Yes.
money, and he's getting like bundles of money from other folks. There's like at one point 6 bundles of money somewhere.
Right. And this was part of this is a problem I have with the movie from just my brain.
There
Just
was
like,
It was
too
confusing.
much.
There was
Yeah.
like $500,000 in a storage locker. There's $300,000 in a hotel, and there's a $200,000. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
I was
numbers.
getting it all mixed up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think I think it's almost supposed to be confusing. Like there's a part in this movie where a character just gets very confused about the money and about all the Italian names that are being thrown at him. and
Oh,
has
yeah.
no
Yeah, that's
idea.
relatable.
He has no idea what's happening. Which is,
My thoughts watching this movie.
I think it's very funny that this movie is. The thing that I like about this movie is about making this movie.
Yeah, it is.
This movie is about John Travolta trying to make Get Shorty, which to the point that he even names it Get Shorty.
See, Mary Grace, because she kept saying, "Who's Shorty?
Shorty?
When am I going to meet Shorty?"
Like
What I like is that it's Jeff and Kathy who are laughing about this, and Mary Grace and I are like,
yeah, okay.
yeah, great.
hypothetically, there's like
So meta.
there's like hypothetically an endless Russian nesting doll of this movie. Of just Get Shorties about Get Shorty being made.
It's so,
And then
it's so boring
At
about
one
it though.
point, they have to find the Infinity Stones, and they use the Hank Pym particles to go travel into the dimensions of the Get Shorties.
Like hypothetically, the Harvey Keitel Get Shorty they're filming at the end of this movie. Presumably, that movie is about the making of Get Shorty,
And they cast different versions
which
of
means that
themselves.
there's an actor playing Harvey Keitel playing John Travolta.
Oh my God.
And what did you? I mean, we should probably wait till the end. But what did you say when Harvey Keitel was there? You were like,
We'll wait till the end.
"Okay, we'll wait till
Yeah,
the end."
just wait till the end. You keep
Okay.
trying, you're like a you're
Okay, I'm a jumper.
I-
I'm sorry.
As-
I'm
as-
a little kangaroo.
As a film fan, I'm just a very big fan of like over the top convolution. Like I like when a movie's not confusing. I don't like when a movie's confusing. But I like it when a movie is really confusing and it knows it's very confusing and just digs into it.
What?
I understood what you said.
Yeah. Like there
I don't understand.
Like,
It's just I don't
there's a-
no,
there's a-
understand
there's a
why.
point, like,
Two
two-
cancers.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, happy belated birthday.
No,
No, it's tomorrow.
Or
but
happy-
happy belated birthday to you.
Yeah, happy pre-birthday. to
Tomorrow's
you.
mine.
Yes.
The episode when this episode comes out, I think Tuesday of
Yeah.
this week,
Yes.
which the audience isn't going to know what that means. Tuesday of this week. We could be recording this like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Tuesday the 13th. Yeah. So then Jeff's birthday would have been 4 days ago.
Mm.
And your birthday would have been 2
A day.
days ago.
Well, my birthday's Monday.
Monday. So
Yeah.
1 day ago for you, 3 days ago for you.
Mm. Yes.
On the day that you're listening to this when it comes out on Tuesday, July
13th.
13th.
See, this is exactly the type of convolution that I really like in movies.
Really?
Oh my God.
Like I like that.
That wasn't convoluted though. Like I
that was very convoluted.
I spelled it out.
But I like 2/3 of the way through this movie, it introduces 3 new plot threads. Does one scene with each of them and then drops them because
yeah,
all
I
the
hated
characters
that.
are actively confused about what's happening, so they just kill 2 guys and say,
Yeah, and-
okay, let's not talk about that anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jeff likes that. Did you really like that?
No, I didn't. I don't like that, but I understood what he was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He does
I
do that.
followed him. But
Stuart,
no,
what's
I
your,
don't.
What's your zodiac sign? When's your birthday?
I'm a Scorpio.
I love Scorpios. Okay,
Great.
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
There's something behind those eyes right now. You're not into
He's a
that.
man. He doesn't care about astrology.
Correct.
Okay.
Of all the personality things that I put the most faith on, I put the most faith on Myers-Briggs.
Oh God,
So-
really, Stuart?
I am an ENFJ.
I am an ENFP.
Oh, cool.
You seem to care
I'm a-
about that, but then you did not care about it.
What are you guys for Myers-Briggs?
I'm I was trying to make some
You're
dumb
probably
joke,
in
but I couldn't think of it.
You're probably in
A Q.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Hufflepuff.
That's what I put my
I
faith
think
in.
you're probably an ESFP.
Okay. What
Yeah,
is-
I don't know what Jeff is.
I think it's really special right now. This may be our most off-topic episode. I cannot understand how we're literally 10 minutes into this movie right now.
And we are more than probably an hour in.
Okay, I'm sorry. You guys
Okay,
get back
yeah.
to it.
No, I-
Get back to it. Get
Yeah.
back to it. I'm sorry.
No, this is good. This is good.
Okay.
This is the energy we need.
This episode is getting a little longy, so let's
Get it
make
shorty.
it shorty. Oh, sorry.
Chili gets to Vegas, and he meets with like the guy who runs one of the hotels out there.
Yeah,
The guy's immediately just like, yeah, that guy's not here anymore.
he's in LA.
Yeah, he will put all of his money in. I think he won a lot of money and then lost all the money and is now with the exact amount he started with or something like that.
Something
So I
confusing.
didn't tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He winds up still with the 300,000 he had come with.
Yeah.
And he's now in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Doing what? Hiding out. Because why not?
How does Gene Hackman get into this?
Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm a little bit lost.
That's Get
That's
Shorty.
fine. That's makes
That's
sense.
Get Shorty.
Well, it's the casino owner knows Chili. Because Chili's well known for his loan sharking and like collecting payments.
That guy's a
And he has-
comedian in real life, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
remember who. This movie has a lot of really good character actors in it.
That exactly. It does.
Like Bette Midler pops up. For
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
that was
that's
exciting.
crazy.
That was exciting. That was the first thing that got me hype.
We love Bette Midler.
I was like, yeah.
But he's like, if you're gonna be in LA anyway, dealing with Leo, can you talk to this film producer who I gave $200,000
Oh,
to?
right.
And I want the money back because he's not spending it on a movie right now.
Cue the second story thread.
Yes,
Right.
do the second story thread.
Yeah.
Leo is pretty much dropped for like 20 minutes. We pick him up for one scene and then finish it off.
Yep. Pretty much.
So he gets to Chili flies to LA. We get another like airport montage.
A lot of airport
I love the
montages.
airport in this movie.
They love the airport.
Love
in this
the
movie.
airport.
You know the last John Travolta movie that loved airport montages this much? Perfect. 1985.
Perfect had a lot of airport in it.
Perfect had a lot of airport montages.
So Chili gets to LA, and rather than deal with Leo first, because he's still got to hunt him down, he goes to deal with this producer who is Las Vegas star.
yawning?
I was yawning.
Because it just made me yawn. Yep. That's like what this movie was for me.
This is
of.
a great movie.
You were the first to yawn just talking about
It's
this.
been a long day.
A long day.
Hard day's night.
Yeah.
But he gets to LA and he goes to this film producer, Harry Zim, played by Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
A lovely Gene Hackman.
A Gene Hackman.
I miss Gene Hackman very dearly. He's still alive, but he just...
I was
Say,
about
did
to
he
say,
die?
did he die?
No, he retired in the early 2000s.
He's a great one.
But he was very reticent to do this movie because he's like, I don't do comedies. I don't like doing comedies. And they told him, well, we want you to play this very straight.
Was this movie supposed to be funny?
What?
And so Gene Hackman bases this character off of someone who he actually knows in real life. And it's a very funny performance, but he's playing it very seriously as this weird guy who he met once, who we worked with.
Okay.
I liked his performance. I liked it more now than I have before.
I think he's so funny in some scenes, specifically this first scene where we meet him. And he's sleeping in bed with Renee Russo.
Yawn count.
Sorry.
He's sleeping with Renee Russo.
Yep. Who's
Who
an actress who appears on a bunch of his films.
Right.
Yes. She's playing...
She is very pretty.
Renee Russo is a very beautiful woman.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
who has kind of been screwed over by Hollywood a few times. She kind of got to the like too old to be a leading lady level very quickly in Hollywood. Just a shitty thing that they do.
Wait, is this like Renee Russo?
Yeah, like Renee Russo.
Okay, because it seems like that kind of.
Because
It's true of the
yeah.
character.
And
too,
character
that-
also, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a bit of truth in her portrayal of this character.
Yeah, because she did a lot for a while.
Yeah, she had a run on the tables of the 90s.
Yeah.
Between like In the Line of Fire and this and whatnot. Then she very quickly got like pigeonholed into like romantic comedies and roles that weren't up to her caliber in the early 2000s.
Okay.
She ended up taking a break from acting. Came back in Thor of all movies.
Oh.
Where she filmed like a lot of scenes and almost all of them got cut out of the movie.
Oh.
She appears in 2 scenes in Thor as Thor's mom. She gets a bigger role in Thor 2, but then dies halfway through.
Aw.
But then she finally gets a really good scene in one of those Marvel movies in the last Avengers movie, Endgame.
Jeff,
Yes.
have you already started a podcast on Renee Russo?
Yes. Well, sir, that's the thing you don't know is we're doing the Russo cast after that.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, did you know this before this movie or like?
I did a little research just on her
forget
career
Troy.
before we
That's
did
very
this episode.
interesting. Thank you.
But yeah, she's someone who
You're so sweet to Jeff.
she had she deserved better in Hollywood than she got. She's
agree.
finally been able to get some great roles recently between Nightcrawler and the Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that she's coming back into the limelight a little bit.
Dude, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
her.
Yeah.
But her character Karen
Yeah.
is
Go, no, Karen.
Karen
Is this the name, Karen?
is sleeping with her producer
Harry Zim.
Harry Zim,
Gene Hackman.
and it starts with this funny shot of him like it's just all done in a wide, and he's just laying there, and she like comes one time, she's like, the TV's on downstairs, and he's like, yeah, I must have left it on last night. She's like, no, I remember specifically turning it off, and he's like, it turned itself back on. She's like, that doesn't make sense. And they run through like the exact sequence of events that would have transpired for the TV to come on, and Harry Zim mathematically realizes there's no way that the TV could be on unless there's someone downstairs.
Like, this is what the movie decides to spend time on.
It's like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I
Are
don't get
these
it.
little conversations.
Yeah.
It's literally 4 minutes of Gene Hackman like putting the math together of how this TV could be on because he doesn't want to
Because
get
he
out
doesn't
of
want to
bed.
get up, right?
I see why you like this movie, Jeff.
He could just
It's these in between moments.
Yeah.
he could just get out of bed,
Yeah.
go downstairs and turn the TV off in like 3 minutes.
Which is what Mary Grace and I probably
That's
would
what
have
we wanted to
preferred.
happen.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
Instead, he just lays there and tries to find a way where he doesn't have to get out of bed because he's too lazy.
to just drag out
he's
the
like,
in-between.
he's like, I'm too comfy. I don't want to move.
But that kind of tells us who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that had happened a couple times in the movie, that's fine. But I feel like that was
it was a lot for one bit.
right.
Well, this exact sequence is recreated later in a mirror shot. Like it's the exact same thing, just reversed, and
It's with John
Oh,
Travolta.
yeah.
except it's John Travolta.
yeah, John
Yes.
Travolta and her.
And it
yeah.
creates the difference between their characters and how they react to this
Right.
incident. Because at that point in
Okay.
the movie, Gene Hackman's trying to be John Travolta and failing hilariously at it.
Yeah,
Right.
where John Travolta's kind of like taking over his role in some
Yes.
sense.
But they swap positions about
Yeah.
halfway through the movie, which is very funny and very good because this is a great movie.
And that's
It's
the
an
next
okay
scene
movie.
is something I always remember. And do
Mm.
you remember what I said when he was going downstairs?
Oh, you go, David Letterman's in this movie.
Yeah,
And I was like, what? And
and I'm
then he
like,
goes
Letterman?
downstairs and David Letterman's on the TV.
Yep,
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
remember that.
He goes downstairs and David Letterman's on the TV.
Yep.
Not actually in the movie,
No.
which I thought for.
Yeah. And we
10
get this
seconds.
this long shot of Gene Hackman walking up and turning the TV off and looking very confused. In the background, you can see Chili Palmer like laying back. I just tried to lay back in the chair and I realized that would remove me from the mic. But Chili's like lounging in the chair, cigarette up, just waiting. And then he's just like, "Hey, Harry." And he's like, "Sit down, look at me." And so he immediately intimidates Harry Zim, and he's like, our mutual friend needs this money. You're doing a very like slimy game with him." But then Travolta, who we've established through in his apartment back in Miami, there's a lot of movie posters, and he has a lot of like little nods here and there. He's like, "Yeah, it's like that movie that I saw." he once he's done his shtick about like, you go with this guy money, he's like, so you make pictures, huh? And Gene Hackman's like, yeah. And then we just cut to Renee Russo coming down the stairs looking very confused.
And it's the two of them.
They're sitting at the dining table just
talking
talking about movies that they like and how the motion picture business goes. And John was like, I got an idea for a movie. And Chili just starts describing the plot of Get Shorty to Gene Hackman.
Well, it's like the one subplot with the whole Leo plane crash thing.
Well, that's what he says. He explains like all the Leo stuff. Gene Hackman's like, this is great. And
it's like, what happens after like he goes to L.A.? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's like, well,
it's like, I still got to figure that one out.
I don't have an ending.
And Gene Hackman's like, well, you're gonna need a female character, like a love interest for this, the Shylock.
Right.
He's like, and he lists all these things he's gonna need, like a big star, etc.
Yeah.
And then the remainder of this movie is John Travolta trying to get those things into his personal life, so that when he makes the movie, it'll have the perfect 3-act structure in order to.
Yeah.
Is John Travolta trying to live his life like a movie so that he can make a movie about his life?
Like, I hear you talking about it, Jeff, and I hear you get all excited about how convoluted this plot is.
I think this plot
and
is
every
so
time, as
good.
you're doing that, like Mary Grace are like, it's too much.
It's too much.
It's way too much.
Way too much.
I am slowly but surely becoming more convinced I love this movie with every word I say about it.
Convincing himself how much he loves
fall asleep.
Because I started this out and I'm like, I really like this movie, but I'll probably hear criticisms. And then I'm like, no, this movie's just great the more I talk about it.
Is this when Renee, does Karen say, like, this is like a true story? Is that when she says that?
Yeah, she's like...
Oh, yeah, she calls it. She's the one who realizes
calls it out. Yeah.
this is a real story.
She sees through the bullshit and it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is the actual thing that's happening to this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the same time, Chili's just kind of like, maybe I'll get into this picture business. Like, I've been in now. So he's like, Harry, I'll help you out with some things.
Yeah, because Harry wants him to do some. Harry wants Chili to do some stuff for him now, so he kind of becomes a work for hire for Harry.
Oh, right. Oh, that
when
really
you got
gets
mad.
confusing.
So
I did?
Yeah.
Harry asks Chili to help him deal with some car wash. Was it? It's the,
Yeah, it has
a
something
limo
to do with car
service.
Limo service,
Yeah.
right.
These guys from a limo service who loaned him $200,000 to like finance one of his movies. Gene Hackman uses the words. He says, "I produce feature motion pictures. You may have seen some of my slime pictures." It's a sentence that he says. It's like, I did Slime Picture too. I still think this movie's just called Slime Pictures.
Oh my god.
This is the most notes I've ever written for this show, by the way.
Why?
But he's asked him for help with this limo company, and these two guys who were like kind of ripping him off, or who want their investment back, but Gene Hackman hasn't made them.
This is Delroy Lindo and
another guy whose name I don't know.
it's not James Gandolfini, is it?
No, because James
No.
Gandolfini's the muscle who
He's
comes
Bear.
in
He
later.
comes later,
Ponytail.
and he's the muscle that's not really the muscle.
Yeah.
Aw,
gets its ass
he's
kicked
so
a
sweet.
He gets his ass kicked a lot in this
He does.
movie.
He's so funny. Like immediately after this, John Travolta Chili just goes to Leo's hotel room, like punches him, gets the $300,000 out of the closet, and just leaves. And he's like, "Leo, I'll come back for you later," and then never comes back for him. We never see Leo. We never see Leo again. We never hear about Leo again.
Nope.
Bones goes to his house and like punches his wife and learns that Chili is in L.A. with Leo right now.
Yeah.
And that's the last we ever hear of that plot. Like, Bones is just like, I just want my money.
I think I might have been in the bathroom for that. I remember
So,
that part.
Yeah.
the next sequence, we catch up with these limo guys, who played by Delroy Lindo, who is so good.
He's great.
He is
Yeah.
so funny in this movie.
He's pretty great
He's
in
playing
this movie.
really intense.
He's going real serious
Yeah.
with the role. Yeah.
But they have another like scam they're running
Yeah, this is
Right.
where then I.
with like a Colombian
much.
drug deal, like
Mr.
cartel.
Escobar.
Mr. Escobar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is played by Miguel
brutal.
Sandoval, who is running a table and playing like Colombian drug dealers in the early 2000s or
Yep.
in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Because he plays this exact same like character in Clear and Present Danger and like 3 other movies. He's also the guy in Jurassic Park who's like, yeah, Hammond's wife's getting a divorce, and he's like, look at this, and he picks up the amber. Another random dude from Jurassic Park who's in this movie. Just very caught off guard by
Right,
this. But they're running their own scam again with this Colombian drug cartel, where they have $500,000 that they get off of an airplane.
Yeah.
And they lock it up in a safety deposit box. But then it turns out the FBI is watching the safety deposit box immediately afterward.
Yeah.
Right.
So they need to figure out a way to get that money out of the safety deposit box at the airport without the FBI swarming them and taking it.
It's too much. You know the Charlie Kelly meme with all the
Yeah.
like, stuff on the like
Yes.
board? That's how I felt this whole movie.
That's
It's
this
what is
movie,
going
except
on?
for John Travolta, instead of pointing at that, was sitting calmly in the chair explaining it to you.
Explaining it, yeah.
Yeah, so many plot lines, so many scams, so much.
I doesn't care about any of it.
So these limo service guys, Delroy, they're trying to get their money back from Gene Hackman because they can't get their $500,000 out at the airport. So they need this money they invested back so they have cash to eventually get the $500,000.
Okay. And
So
Like,
then Chili
you
tells,
like this, by the way.
I love this.
You love this
I love how
convoluted-
over convoluted
this whole time he's had this giant smile on his face as he's talking about this movie. Like he is,
And I'm just
so
like
filled with
ready
joy.
to pass out.
Yeah, I'm with Stuart. It's just
Kathy and I are on the same wavelength.
Yeah,
I think.
I think so too. I mean, I don't like so much confusion, but I definitely enjoyed it more than these guys did.
And you were
Now-
able to follow all of these?
Well, I've seen it a couple of times. I mean, when I
Okay.
remember when I first seen it, I probably just was looking at John Travolta. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Hubba
hubba hubba, be still my heart. But this time I did. Yeah. I mean, not as intense as Jeff. Like I don't remember, like the numbers and all that
I
kind of
think
stuff.
your thing is that I think that you can just let go of the fact that you don't
understand.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it bothers me that it's so confusing.
It's a movie where you're almost supposed to just not care about like the convolution.
I can't do that.
It's like the Big.
I'm a Virgo.
Another movie that's extremely
Yeah.
like this is The Big Lebowski, which is a movie that has the most over convoluted plot line ever.
Ooh.
Because
you
that
said
is just
it.
disrespectful.
He said it on our podcast.
Sorry.
Wow.
Out the door.
Sorry.
Wait, who's that coming in, Jeff?
What?
Who's that walking in right
There's
now?
no one walking in right now.
No?
No.
That wasn't Jack
go.
Nicholson?
No, Jack's not here yet.
Why you gotta leave me hanging like that?
That's not how improv works, Jeff. It's yes.
It's a
You gotta say
yes.
yes and.
And-
It's no period.
Jeff does it to me a lot. I'll try to do a bit, and he just shuts me
He shuts
down.
it down. Come on,
He
Jeff.
probably eats like White Castle or
okay,
something,
okay.
and I will not
We're gonna
have it.
All right, it's soliloquy time. We're gonna step to the side of the stage here.
Do you-
We're gonna break the fourth wall. The Jack Nicholson bit only happens when an actual door opens, and that's how I explain
Oh.
that a door is opening in this apartment.
And that bit probably came alive because we switched locations where we're recording.
Yes,
and now we
during
have doors
the last
opening.
episode we recorded, a door opened a lot.
Yeah.
So I was now that we've explained the bit, we're gonna get back into the fourth wall, pretend that conversation never happened. All right.
I can do it.
So yes,
It's really making sense that Jeff likes Get Shorty.
I like movies.
You're
That,
the most confusing person.
I like movies about convolution and also movies that are about themselves. But like, The Big Lebowski is a very similar movie where it has the most overcomplicated like crime plot line ever, where the dude's like, okay, so she got kidnapped by these German nihilists, but at the same time, there's 3 other people who might have kidnapped her, and then at the end it turns out she wasn't even kidnapped and just went on a vacation without telling anyone. The dude like multiple times there's like, there's new shit's come to light, man. He gets like meets the Malibu police chief. It's just a movie where the convolution is the humor, and the plotline doesn't matter.
See, where I would disagree is like this movie doesn't it's convoluted, but not convoluted enough to where it's obvious that's the humor. To me, this movie just felt overly confusing.
I agree.
And it didn't come off to me as like, oh, ha ha ha, there's like 5 different scams. Like it didn't really read like that. To me, it read just like, what am I supposed to be paying attention to right now? Like, who am I supposed to be rooting for? Like,
That's a good one. Like I wonder. I mean, I'm rooting for Chili Palmer.
For your
What I mean, but I would like. There aren't a lot of people to root for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, did you root for anybody, Mary?
It's a lot.
Grace?
It's a lot of
Just say-
it's a lot of slimy dudes in this.
Yeah.
A lot of slimy
I
dudes.
just like the girls.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, they're more or less the only characters in this movie who have a brain.
True.
I mean,
Like Chili's, like they're the only ones who are in it for something that's not just like let's just make a movie about me.
yeah.
So where were we on the plot? I don't remember.
So
I don't know.
Harry, Chili tells
I'm
Harry,
glazing over.
invite these limo guys to your office, and I'll take care of it. And
Oh, I was so aggravated.
Oh, this is what I was saying. She
I was
got
so
mad
mad.
about this.
with Gene Hackman in this
Oh
scene.
my god.
She was so angry, and I was already glazed over at this point. And she's like, "Oh my god, he's an idiot." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I was taking it real serious. I was like, why didn't you just listen to what he said?
The thing I love about this scene is how it's already showing that Chili has a mind for movies, because he lights, blocks, and scripts the entire scene they're supposed to have.
Oh.
He like
He tells him where he's gonna
yeah.
stand.
He's like,
Yeah.
Gene,
That's true.
he's like, here's how your blocking's gonna work. You're gonna start here. You're gonna walk here, stand behind them. We need to make sure they're sitting in these chairs. I'm gonna adjust the blinds in this window to give myself the maximum backlight. Like he's essentially
cool.
he's essentially directing this scene.
Right.
So for maximum intimidation factor, when these guys walk in, Chili
Yeah.
can set them straight and get them off Harry.
Okay.
Problem is Harry goes off script immediately.
Yeah.
Delroy Lindo and the other guys sit there. And Chili, before he can even say anything, Gene Hackman just like runs in and is like, "Oh, just don't worry, I'll have the money for it soon."
Yeah, he does the exact opposite of everything.
Completely ruins it. He
Yeah.
ends up like promising them the money sooner.
Yeah.
rather than he was
He says,
originally-
"We just pushed the picture back a couple months." It's
Yeah.
like, couple months? And Travolta told him to tell them that they pushed it back a year.
Yeah,
And he said just a couple months.
yeah.
It's not good.
It's
Not
not
good,
good
Gene
for
Hackman. Yeah.
No.
Um,
You have anything else to say about it? You were very passionate about the scene while we were watching it. Huh?
I mean, it just pissed me off.
And the secret was gonna be Gene Hackman has two scripts. One of them is another like slime picture, but then there's one that they actually think is a good movie.
what do they call that one?
I am forgetting.
Lovejoy.
Lovejoy, Mr. Lovejoy.
Mr. Lovejoy.
That apparently they think is a good script. And so Harry's gimmick was he was going to use their movie to finance Mr. Lovejoy without telling them, because he doesn't want them involved in the movie.
I'm realizing how confusing it really is now
Yes.
that Jeff's really explaining it to me. I mean, I was
Right.
living in my little world, to
Right.
be honest here.
It's
now
too
I'm
much.
like, wow.
This episode's going to be something special. In which
Our audience, they're
is
gonna
so
fall,
lost right now.
They're gonna fall asleep driving because people probably listen to us talk while they're in the car, and just because I'm falling asleep here,
Yeah,
man.
but-
Like this is really tough.
Stuart, I don't know if you know this, but we have to cover the sequel to this movie later.
There's
now.
a sequel?
Oh, yeah.
There's
Be
a sequel
Cool,
to this
right?
movie.
What is it called?
Be cool.
Really?
Yes.
Sorry, Stuart.
So
I will
we
not be coming back.
This is not the last time we're
So
going to see.
you're on your
This is
own.
not the last time we're seeing Chili Palmer. But
Okay.
both Delroy Lindo and John Travolta decide they want to produce Mr. Lovejoy as like their way into the film industry. Yes. So
I like when he says, wait, they ask him, the limo guys say, do you, like, if you need anything, he goes, what would I need? Like, if I need a ride, I'll call you. Do you remember that?
yeah.
Yeah, I like the little lines.
So he's just like, if I need a ride, I'll call you.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, like we just rewrite the script. It'll be so easy. He's like, well, if it's so easy, what do I need you for?
Right.
Because
So.
Harry's like, writing a script is the easiest thing in the world. I mean, no, it's Delroy Lindo who's explaining how you write a script because he wants to work with Travolta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, all you gotta do is just type a bunch of stuff down, and then you hand it to a guy who actually writes, and he'll fill in all the commas and shit.
Right.
Yeah. It's easy. So I think he goes. Travolta talks with Renee Russo at some point.
Yes, he decides in order to get Mr. Lovejoy financed and filmed, they need a movie star. And so they
Yeah.
decide they're going to get Shorty. They're going to get Danny DeVito.
I love Danny.
Did you call Danny DeVito Shorty?
That's literally why this movie's called Get Shorty. Is he short? Travolta even says at one point, "I got to get Shorty for this movie."
I missed that part.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I had
that-
to ask. At the end, I said, "Why is this movie called Get Shorty?"
Even the poster for this movie is just the three
I
of them
figured it-
standing and then Danny DeVito being short in front
Yeah,
of them
I
under the
figured it
words
had
Get
something
Shorty.
to do with him, but I don't know. It seems kind of mean.
He plays Martin Weir, who's apparently based on Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, really?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. His first appearance in the movie is this massive billboard.
The billboard was funny. I laughed at the billboard.
Can you just-
Napoleon.
Mary-Grace, can you
Yeah, you
describe
did.
the billboard?
It is Danny DeVito as Napoleon. I feel like he was kind of like, wasn't he like lying down? It was kind of like a sort of like
He has
sexy,
the
like,
most
pose,
intense face ever.
right? Like really like serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. I think that was the first time I laughed in the movie.
She did.
Yeah, that was the first time I laughed. Yeah.
So they decide they need to get him for Mr. Lovejoy, and then they can make the movie because other financiers will come in addition to the $300,000 that Chili has and the $500,000, or the $200,000 that the limo drivers gave Harry.
Okay.
So he convinces Renee Russo to help him get Martin Weir on
And
this movie.
were they married?
They were.
Right? Isn't that?
Martin Weir
They had a relationship.
They'd had
Oh, I thought they were
Yeah.
married.
I think they might have been married in the past, but they aren't married at the
No, they're
time.
not married now.
No,
But they
but
were
they
together.
were.
They were together. They were married or something. Okay. They
Yeah.
have a history.
Yes.
Yeah.
The characters, right? Okay.
So they go to his house, and there's Danny DeVito's just like really riffing in the scene.
Yeah, he was good.
He's like, I don't know why I want to do this movie. I have no in. And so Travolta just starts like explaining his story about the himself being a Shylock.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I'm just trying to get this money from this guy named Leo. And Danny DeVito is so funny in this scene where he's like, all right, let me get into the character. Let me figure out how to do the stare. And it's just like 4 minutes of Travolta and Danny DeVito staring at each
See,
other,
like
trying
this
to look
is
intimidating.
exactly like the Gene Hackman waking up in the TV bit.
Yeah.
Like it's
No.
This
exact.
scene's so funny.
This scene's the best scene in the movie.
Danny DeVito is just like, he starts to like, how about this?
I
And
love
Travolta's like, what are you, constipated?
It was funny for a little. It was funny for a little bit, but I just think everything goes. They take it too far.
I think they should take it even further.
Every bit, every repetitive bit is like 2 repetitions too much.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
What if we added 4 more repetitions?
But
And then we got a
doesn't
5-star movie right
But
here.
doesn't it make sense because that's Jeff's like Jeff always takes a bit too far, does he not? What else is this
Stuart,
podcast
we're
but
all-
Jeff taking a bit too far?
We're on episode 24 of this
Whoa,
podcast.
You're right.
I mean, like
I do explain this podcast like that. When I
It's a bit
go,
taken
where are you
too
going,
far."
Cathy? I'm going to do a podcast. What? Mary Grace's friend. It's kind of like a gaudy bit. It's like he took it too far. And they're like, what about Stuart? I'm like, I don't know how he got involved.
Oh, God help me. I feel like I'm stuck in like a time loop right now
I think we just like
With
Stuart's
just-
like,
with all this like John Travolta. Like, Get Shorty, I feel like is the epitome of what we're doing here with this podcast. Of
absolutely.
just watching bit after bit after bit, repetition after repetition, and John Travolta just being cool looking and like, oh, but there's John Travolta, he's cool, and then everything else is just kind of like repeating onto itself, and it just drives
Stuart
me
has looked
insane.
into the eyes of God.
And I'm realizing that I'm like, that's this whole podcast. It's me seeing John Travolta, he's kind of cool, but we're doing the same thing over and over again. Just to,
yeah.
That's it.
Oh man.
That's it. Sorry, Stuart.
Wow. The Schumans broke me again.
Wow. What can I say?
All right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So there's a bit.
Danny DeVito's just doing the stare. It's
There's
really
a bit. It gets taken a little too far. Jeff thinks
it
it's
does.
funny.
I love
We
it.
don't.
I love it.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movie's over. That's the podcast.
that's the podcast. So the next scene, Travolta goes to see Touch of Evil at a theater, the Orson Welles film, and I wrote he is so cute in this scene. Like he is. He's just
No, I
so
respect
getting
that.
so excited about
Yeah.
watching this movie.
Yeah.
But he's not getting excited for like the usual reason. He's not just like, wow, this movie. He's like just sitting there and he's like so enraptured with the structure, the blocking, how this movie's put together. because Travolta and Chili just have this like brain for film,
Right.
and I think this is the closest Travolta's come to almost playing himself in one of these movies.
Oh.
Because he seems, from conversation, like a guy who really loves like the construction of film.
What
But
about Look Who's
didn't he say in Look Who's Talking, the interview, that is the most like himself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he said that about Look Who's
In
Talking?
an interview, he said, like, this is probably the closest character
And
to
he's
who
just
I
like,
really
yeah, you
am.
know, I
Fuels my stuff
He's
about
like,
the
you know, I'm just a
Scientology.
greasy pizza guy.
Oh, see, I always thought the closest to himself was, what's the movie I like? Not Michael.
Phenomenon.
Yes. I always thought that
Wow.
was him. I always thought that was the closest
We have a
to
few
him.
thoughts about
Yeah,
Phenomenon.
we recorded Phenomenal last week.
Really?
Yeah. Good movie.
You liked it? I love it.
We both liked it.
It's another episode.
We talked a lot about the
It's another
trees in that.
episode.
We talked a lot about trees in that episode.
Oh, you mean the...
Yeah, the swaying trees.
The
The movie has a
oneness.
great
Yeah.
feel-good aspect to it, which I think is appealing to a lot of other folks. I think there were some things that it was missing that would have made it phenomenal.
Okay.
You say it could have been a phenomenon.
I think it could have been a phenomenon of a film. Mary-Grace!
Wait, did you already... You guys... you already taped this?
We already taped it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it out
But
yet?
it's not out.
It comes
I
out in
want to
2
watch
weeks.
it. I have to listen to that one because I'm
Yeah.
curious what you're going to say.
Yeah. We are an hour and 40 minutes into this
Hell
podcast.
yeah. We're literally like 30 minutes into this movie.
Oh, God.
Because it's still here. Because this being a
3
5-hour
hours.
episode.
I'm internally screaming.
It's not internally. It's all over your face.
Yeah, I know. Okay, what happens?
so where are we?
What
Okay,
happens next, Jeff?
They're at Danny DeVito's house.
Save me.
So I'll
Or did we get past that?
this is the point. We're gonna move a little faster from this point.
Okay.
Just because we're at the point in the movie where it's all just like the convolution of scenes repeating themselves as Travolta and
Flock of
Hackman
seagulls.
like swap roles. So
Great.
there's a lot less explaining I'm gonna have to do.
Okay.
'Cause, like,
Okay.
the explaining's more or less been done.
Okay, so Jeff, you don't need to explain that you don't need to explain. Just
No, because that's exactly because this movie is about the making of itself. So I need to make this episode about the making of this episode. This is a podcast about the making of the podcast about Get Shorty, which is about the making of Get Shorty, which is about the making of Get Shorty.
You're literally killing Stuart. You're killing him.
I have to give him CPR.
So we throw
Do you
water
need
in his
water?
face.
I gave you a bottle of water.
Oh, man. Okay, so.
Random thing I just want to say. No. Danny DeVito's house in this is so funny. There's like a giant mural of like Jesus, but with Danny DeVito's
That was
head.
funny. That made me laugh.
There's
yeah.
a bust of Julius Caesar, except it's Danny.
It's Danny DeVito. That was funny. I love
Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
His entire house in this movie is famous pieces of art, except they swapped Danny DeVito's head into it.
Yeah, that
And
was
think
funny.
it was
I appreciated
such
that.
a good bit of character design.
Yeah, and that didn't take away. That didn't waste time though. It's like that was funny.
Yeah.
And it was just there, and it didn't have to waste our time. I liked that. I thought that was funny.
It's good.
That was funny.
It's great.
Great.
It's amazing.
So the limo drivers try and like make a truce with Chili. They send him to the airport to get the money out of the safety deposit box. And like, if you get that money, give us what we're owed, and then use the rest of it to pay for this movie.
Is one of the DEA agents Kevin Bacon?
No.
He does look like.
He looks like Kevin Bacon though.
I mean, he's probably like 3 degrees away from Kevin Bacon.
He looks like
Yeah.
good one. He looks like Kevin Bacon. I thought that for a second too. But
3 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
I would say there's someone in this movie who's been in a Kevin Bacon movie, and we can probably do a 2 degrees.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Travolta goes to the airport.
Well, his wife's in Phenomenon.
Kelly Preston.
No.
Oh, Kevin Bacon's wife.
Right.
Is that Kira Sedgwick?
Yeah.
Oh, Kira Sedgwick. I did not know they were. I did not know they were a thing.
What? Kevin Bacon and
Come on, Jeff.
They've been
Are
together
you
forever.
kidding me?
I did not know
Seriously,
this.
Jeff, how could you not know that?
This is Travolting, not baconing.
Okay.
Okay, I've decided our next podcast is going to be called Crispy Bacon. It's going to be the film with Kevin Bacon. every instead of our current one where it's John Travolta in front of the window.
When you said crispy bacon, the first thing I thought of is Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring when they're on the tower and he's like, "What are you doing? Got some nice crispy bacon."
And then the ring stabs Frodo in the chest.
Wait, I'm going off
He
topic.
almost dies.
He almost dies over some bacon.
The reason why he has like a poisonous wound for 3 movies is because Pippin cooks bacon. I'm sorry, folks. I just lost it.
This is a wild episode.
Just Shorty has broken me. Really?
More like get longy.
Okay.
So corny. I love it. What were you going to say, Mary Gracie?
Oh, yesterday, Jeff was telling me a story, and he starts the story by saying, "Oh, we were in the theater, and we're watching this trailer." He's trying to tell me about a movie trailer, but then he's like, "Yeah, and there's people in the theater dressed like elves," and then he just keeps going with the story, and I'm like, "Elves? Like you have to go back." He's like, "Oh yeah, we were watching Lord of the Rings." I'm like, "Okay." That was context I needed. Like you can't just go like, "Yeah, we're in the theater and there's people dressed up as elves." It's like, what?
But it's Jeff. I mean, why would you even ask?
I go to
Sometimes you have to ask.
I
Mom.
go to the Elf Society screenings. we were actually there to watch the Color Purple, but everyone's dressed like elves.
Just makes no sense at all to the context of it.
Yeah,
It's Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring.
that's what we were seeing.
That's what we were seeing.
Hence the bacon.
The nice crispy
Yeah,
bacon.
but we're not doing crispy bacon right
What
now.
about
No,
segue?
We're doing
we're doing
Travolting.
We're doing Travolting.
Right.
And we're doing an episode about a movie about a movie.
Okay, they're in the there's the locker and the money.
Yes.
What
and
happens?
So Travolta goes up and he immediately clocks all the DEA agents.
Yeah.
And so
There's not Kevin. There's no Kevin Bacon.
he pulls a little bit. He pulls a good bit.
Yeah,
He
he
asks a
a
guy.
bit in this movie.
He asks the guy who like rents out the lock boxes. He's like, "Hey, can you go put this in C7? The ones he needs to get is C18." So he gives the guy a few bucks. And he's like, "Hey, can you go put this in C17? I need to surprise my wife with it, but I need to hide it now." So the guy goes and he puts it in C17. Travolta then waits for a tour group to come by. He runs in and he makes it very obvious that he's about to open C18, so all the DEA come up on him. But then he quickly just maneuvers over and opens 17. So when they arrest him, they see he wasn't going for the locker they were supposed to scope out. And now he knows like what the response there is.
Right.
So Chili's very slick. One could say he's very chill. And he gets away scot-free from the DEA. But they're like, that guy's kind of shady. We need to like put some more guys watching this locker just in case.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
So the next scene is they're all meeting at a restaurant.
Yeah. Good scene.
They're gonna meet with Gene Hackman.
This
Except
is a good, I like this scene.
Yeah.
except the Limo, Delroy Lindo and his like partner beat them there, and they
James Gandolfini.
James Gandolfini is
Yeah.
there
His name is Bear.
Bear
Yeah.
with
Bear.
quite the ponytail.
And
Yes.
his daughter is so cute. I liked her. His daughter.
He's a really cute daughter in this.
Yeah, she was very cute. She's my favorite character.
James Gandolfini is a former stuntman turned hired muscle in Hollywood.
Right.
Except I think it's very hilarious that he's no good at being an actual muscle because
Yeah.
all he knows how to do is miss people when he's punching because he's a stuntman. So
And he
he's-
knows how to like take a fall.
So he's
yeah,
so
that's
he's
funny.
so he's incapable of actually doing the work of a muscle because all he can do is intentionally miss people by inches.
That's funny.
It's such a good bit.
That's a good bit.
Yeah.
I'll be real.
enjoying Jeff's explanation of the movie more than you actually enjoyed the movie.
No, I am enjoying it. I'm getting some new info that I
Yeah.
probably glazed over during the watching it.
Yeah.
But Hackman's like he's taking some lessons from Chili, and he's trying to like throw the charm on these guys, failing horribly at it.
Right.
And he ends up agreeing to pay all the money immediately back to them and let them produce Mr. Lovejoy. He goes in to win. He ends up losing everything. So we go back to and so Travolta shows up and Renee, and they see the limo guys, and they're like, oh no. So they run up. There's a little confrontation on the steps. Gandolfini tries to swing at Travolta, misses, and Travolta just knees him in the groin and throws him down the steps, which he knows how to take because he's a stuntman.
Yeah.
And he and Delroy Lindo have a little standoff with each other on the stairs, where it's like, I'm going to produce this movie. No, I'm going to produce this movie. And so they just kind of mosey off there.
Right.
And Travolta sits down and he's like telling Hackman, like, you know, you cannot work with those guys. You got to work with me if you want to make my life story as a movie. Because I'm working on the script right now and I think it's really getting somewhere. And Hackman's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we have a female character now because Travolta's now seeing Renee Russo. And he's explaining all these things that he's doing in his life to make a more interesting life story for this movie.
It's at this point I wrote down the note, this movie is such a talkie. It's so much dialogue. It's so much talking. Mm-hmm. And there are movies that are good that are mostly dialogue, but
This was not one of
No
them.
more talk.
Sorry.
Don't we
just-
say that when you're trying to go to sleep? When you're little, no more talkie.
no more talkie. No
I
more
don't
talkie.
remember, but that's funny if you did.
There's no more talkie.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of talking in this movie.
And so then during this, Travolta kind of lets Hackman know about Bones and the fact that he's still like pulling money over on this guy and how he has $300,000 he can put into this movie if he needs to. So Hackman decides he's going to get Bones to pay for this movie because Bones is a big mafioso.
This was cringe.
Oh yeah, this was cringe.
Yeah,
So-
it was
yeah.
that scene was
So
I
cringe.
was like,
he
what?
calls Bones,
Yeah, that was
tells
bad.
him Chili is in town, tells him I work for this big time movie producer Harry Zim.
Mr. Zim.
Mr. Zim wants to talk to you.
I'm
And
the
so-
one telling you how it is.
Yeah.
You know it is. He just starts poorly quoting Chili towards me.
This guy's just like, who are you? Never heard of you.
Just so because this is around the time where Travolta just starts saying a bunch of Italian names, and Hackman goes, "How do you come up with all these names?" He's like Tony Salerno, all these like really Italian sounding.
Oh my
things.
god, I actually worked for a guy named. No, I know it's Tony Solano. Never mind. Okay.
So Bones flies out to L.A. to meet with Harry Zim. At the same time, the Colombian drug dealer flies into L.A. to meet
Yes.
with the limo guys because there's like 4 parallel tracks occurring at this time. Bones goes to meet with Hackman. Immediately, like, susses out that Hackman's not like who he is because he's just doing a poor imitation of Travolta. Whereas Chili is doing a very good impersonation of what a Hollywood producer should be.
Oh,
So they've swapped roles at this point in the movie.
that's true.
Because Chili's playing like he knows how he's getting the talent involved by stroking their ego. He knows how to block the scenes. He knows how to get the right people involved.
Right.
But Hackman gets beat up by Bones because he's so incompetent. They go to the hospital and they find Hackman like tied up to like an iron lung or something. He's like, he looks so funny. It's just,
Is it as funny as you think it is, Jeff?
this is
I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, somebody has to be enthusiastic. This is
So-
a podcast about Kid Shorty.
Yeah.
We all can't just be like, oh.
I mean,
So now Bones is in LA. He shows up at Chili's apartment
yeah.
and tells him, I need the $300,000 now. And Travolta's like, oh, that money is, I'll tell you where it is soon. So now Travolta has the heat on to find a way to deal with Bones while also getting his movie made. So he meets with Devito again in the scene at a restaurant that, from stories that I've heard, is very accurate as to how like Hollywood deal making will go. Is Danny DeVito shows up. He orders immediately for everyone. He's like, I got to go in like 5 minutes. He orders for everyone. Takes
An
all the-
omelet or something.
He orders because Renee Russo tells Travolta like, no one, if you're a famous, you never order from the menu. You order something slightly off the menu to like assert your fame.
Right.
And so DeVito just gets there. He rolls up in a minivan because he's very into like doors that close themselves.
The Cadillac of minivans.
Yeah, the Cadillac of minivans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got mad about that. Yeah. My mom.
I did.
Yeah, when I texted you both and I said Cadillac of minivans, that's a good description of John Travolta.
Oh, that wasn't.
That's
yeah, you guys
mean.
got mad at that. They disliked. They thumbed down the comment.
So,
I wasn't trying to be mean. I thought I was just stating a fact. But
so
sorry. Okay.
this is and he shows up and he's like, I love the picture about the Shylock, and they're like, well, we're here to talk to you about Mr. Lovejoy, and Hackman's there sitting in like a neck brace. He can't speak.
Oh yeah.
He's like, so Travolta's just like, oh, Martin Weir wants to be in my movie,
Right.
not Mr. Lovejoy. So he starts making like a deal on the side to get Danny DeVito in his movie,
Right.
because he's now outproduced the producer. And he finally realizes like how he's gonna figure this all out. Before he can, though, he gets taken by Delroy Lindo to his house where he's gonna be whacked. Except he appeals to James Gandolfini's like inner conscience and is like, more or less, you can help work on my movie instead of being a muscle outside.
They have that nice little moment together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gandolfini stages a fake fight scene between him and Travolta because he's a stunt guy, which ends with Delroy Lindo being thrown off the side of a building and
Yeah.
falling to his bloody death.
2 people are killed in this
Two
movie.
people die in this movie.
Yeah.
Did we forget the Mr. Escobar bit thing?
No, there's that's pretty much the end of the Colombian drug thing. Is that Delroy Lindo dies and we just never hear about them again
Okay, gotcha.
because they come and they're like,
Because he kills Mr. Escobar's nephew.
Yeah,
he kills
okay.
the nephew, and that's why Mr. Escobar comes.
Yeah.
But it's not that important because Mr. Escobar does not appear again.
Yeah.
Because
Isn't that true?
Because that's
Most
why
of the plot.
That's
of
why
this
Delroy
movie?
Lindo needs the money. But then
Right.
once Delroy Lindo's dead,
Yep.
there's no longer any plot connection to the Colombians,
Again,
so we just don't
that's
see them
the
again.
whole movie, though.
So
The energy in the studio.
so at this point,
Very bizarre.
I'm gonna order Get Shorty on like 4K right now just to throw some money towards them.
Oh man.
But I'm actually at the end of the movie.
Okay.
We did it.
But
I have questions.
yes, we're just because at the end of the movie
You're gonna break, Stuart.
we're at the end of the episode. We're at the end of the movie, not the end of the episode. Stuart, we still got to record one more of these today.
I don't have a lot of questions, so I just have like maybe 1 or 2.
So
I'd like to look up everybody's zodiac sign in the movie.
I know John
So-
Travolta is February. His birthday's February 18th. So I think he's an Aquarius.
Yeah.
Chili meets
Just
with
saying.
Bones again. Chili meets with Bones again, and he stages like a fake out where Bones finds the C-18 key for the airport locker.
Oh, right. Like in his coat pocket or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because he's now like he pretty much has everything staged to where he wants it. Between Martin Weir working on the movie, Hackman like being more submissive to him as the real producer. The last threat he needs to deal with, the Limo guys are dead. The last thing he needs to deal with is Bones. So he leaves that key. We have the shot of Bones at the airport. He walks up to the locker, unlocks it. The DA guys run in. The camera pulls back. Bones turns around. It's Harvey Keitel. Because we're now in the
Right.
making of Get Shorty. And Harvey Keitel is playing Bones in the movie.
Yeah.
This is a
Yes.
great scene where Penny Marshall is playing the director
Why?
as
I know.
herself.
Yeah.
Like
You
acclaimed director Penny Marshall
Yeah.
playing herself.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Oh.
Deeply sad.
Yeah.
And this is when Mary-Grace was
I was not
way
paying-
confused.
I was not paying attention, so I didn't see who it was, and then I was just like, "Wait, this guy's in the movie now?"
Yeah.
Like, I got that they were making the movie.
Travolta, his entire life that he figured out.
Cathy is making fun of Mary Grace that she's doing better at talking to the microphone.
For the listener.
Might be. Yeah, I got it then, but I was just like, I hadn't seen who it was,
Whoa, a little
And
further
then-
away now, girl.
Nah, it's all good.
So
You have a microphone for lunch?
You're mean.
I know.
I think our first 4-person episode is a rousing success.
Oh my god.
I have to edit this tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So then
We have next weekend off.
but
Okay.
okay. Are we done with the movie? Sorry, do you still have more plot?
This is the very end.
Okay, go, and then I'll ask my question, and then you can ask
we
your
come back
your
and there's
questions.
the AD calls a break on the movie. That's a wrap for the day. Even though they filmed this scene, Travolta still doesn't have the direct ending for his movie, for his life story, indicating that it will continue and that endings are hard to put together, as any good writer would know.
And how can he end his life?
And how can Joel's like, oh, I guess I gotta die now. So yeah, that's the he still is trying to figure that out. He walks off, the music kicks in, and the camera just pans away from the studio where Chili is now a highly successful filmmaker.
Okay, when does he say get Shorty?
There's a
'Cause me
part.
and Stuart missed that.
I got that.
It's a part.
It was when he was talking about the title of the movie.
Yeah, he's with Renee Russo on the beach.
Okay.
And they're just kind of chatting about how complicated everything is. And he's like, we got to get Martin Weir. And he's like, I just got to figure out how to get him in this thing. I got to get Shorty.
Oh, see, I missed it.
But
They talk too much. I can't listen to everything they
But
say.
it is to my understanding that in Touch of Evil, one of the characters in that is named Shorty. So that scene when he's watching Touch of Evil is where he gets the idea of Shorty.
Oh.
And then he applies that to Danny DeVito because he is short.
Good one.
He's got to get Shorty.
All right, Kathy, what are your questions?
Well, I actually was just. It's not really a question about the movie. Did he get nominated for a Golden Globe for
He
this?
did. So this movie comes out. It's actually a very big success.
Yeah.
It makes over 3 times its budget. It was a $30 million movie, made $115 million.
It was very popular.
It gets Travolta gets nominated for Best Actor at the Golden Globes. This also gets nominated for Best Comedy at the Golden Globes. It was number 1 at the box office for 3 consecutive weekends until being beaten by Ace Ventura 2. What a time we lived in.
I didn't find it very funny.
It
I did not. My laugh count was pretty low. I think I laughed like 3 times. What was your laugh count, Stuart?
Probably 2.
I had like 4 or 5 good hearty laughs, but like I was at a residual chuckle for almost the entire movie.
Me too.
It's one of those movies where like I start the scene and I'm just like, okay, this is kind of funny, and then it just keeps going. It's like
Maybe I was just like not in a state of mind to watch this film.
Watch
No,
Get Shorty
Stuart,
again.
don't let him convince you.
Well,
now
no,
on this.
You
It's-
do
it-
have to be in a certain state of mind to watch a movie, I think.
It's just not good.
But like when I was watching this, like I had heard like good things about it, and but I had no idea what it was about, so I was going in very blind. And the convolutedness of it, the weird sense of humor that like being overly confusing is funny, but it had some smaller bits that I didn't like. The Stuntman bit was kind of funny, and
the whole movie was funny. I agree.
no, not to me, no. But no, it was just it was so confusing, and for not confusing in like a hard to understand way. It was confusing in the amount of things going on kind of way.
I agree.
And I usually hate stuff like that. I'm surprised you're not calling me out on that. Like, so it's
Well, I'm not mean like you, so I wasn't gonna call you
not
out.
mean. I know I said I was. I totally agree with you that it was. If Travolta wasn't in it, or like I like the characters. I think they all most of them did a great job, but I'm not one to like stay engaged with a confusing plot like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, and I felt like I don't know, like what did they? Were they trying to confuse their audience? Like, because it's like Stuart said, it's not like confusing. Like I didn't get it, but it was just like
So many things.
So many things
Yeah.
going on, and like, what am I supposed to care about?
Yeah.
But like, he was trying to be confusing to your audience because you like think that like makes it smart, or is it just trying to be funny? I don't know, but I
think Jeff actually really got it. I think he's the one here that
he really got Shorty.
Yeah,
got
I think
Shorty.
he really got Shorty.
He really got Shorty.
Got Shorty.
Stuart, you said earlier that you knew the kind of person who would like this movie.
Yes.
Can you explain that person to us?
Well, I think it's exactly what you said, Cathy, earlier, which is like this definitely has like the idea of like a film person, like a film lover type story look aesthetic to it. The way it's shot, the way it looks, the way it's performed, the way it's written, the way the dialogue is delivered. All of those elements together, like I can see somebody like film critics and just film lovers going in and just drinking up everything that's being handed to them in this movie. And in some cases, I usually do like those types of films, but in this case, I just like, and again, like I am pretty tired. And so I might have just been like halfway fallen asleep during this movie, but there was just no point in time where it's like, I was ever on the edge of my seat for any person's well-being. Like if John Travolta got shot by Delroy in like Act 2, I would not care.
I agree.
I would not have cared. I was like, okay, next piece, Gene Hackman's movie now, or Danny DeVito's movie now, or Renee Russo. That was just for me. But you know, I understand the personality where it's like, because again, like it does have the aesthetic, it does have the certain style of dialogue and the certain style of delivery of said dialogue that I can see film lovers really appreciating and liking.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's what made this movie very special to me. I had seen this movie before, but like let's say like 6 or 7 years ago. I was a lot younger, and I just remember thinking it was funny back then. But I really kind of vibed with the ideas of what this movie was about, just being a movie about how complicated it can be to make a movie. It really gets the systems and structures of Hollywood, and how like there's the process of getting a movie made is often extremely convoluted. If it's independent, money is coming from crazy places, including frequently the mob.
Right.
And at the end of the day, this like messy, like convoluted process, if you're lucky, will result in something special. Which is what Travolta gets at the end, is he gets a special movie about his life. And so I just really find something effective in that, in a movie celebrating the difficulty and ultimately like the art and result of movie making.
Great.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't care enough about.
No, I get
I respect
movies,
that.
but
Yeah,
I get
I
it.
do
I
too.
get what you're saying. I understand that. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
But I just
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't care enough.
Felt something in it that we did not feel, but
No,
that's okay.
But that's okay. That's art.
That's art.
That's art.
So the Hollywood, I mean, not just film like students and lovers, but the Hollywood type probably really loved it.
Yeah, this was probably Hollywood people love movies about themselves.
Right.
Like,
I could see
I was
that.
going to say I was kind of self-indulgent a little.
Yeah.
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 Hollywood people love movies about Hollywood. People love parodies of Hollywood,
Right.
in which they're like, "Oh, I was clearly making fun of I completely blanked on thinking of a producer's name. That's such a good parody of Earl and Winkler right there." or like Danny DeVito playing Dustin Hoffman in this. Like,
Yeah, what's that?
apparently, like in experiences he had with like Dustin Hoffman is very intense when it comes to like his roles, and he'll essentially be the Danny DeVito where he's just like sits there and like really will work on like a pointless stare for like 5
didn't know
minutes.
that.
So Danny DeVito's portrayal was based on Dustin Hoffman.
Yes.
The original, like I was thinking when you said it originally that the person who wrote the book based this
Danny
character out.
DeVito's,
Danny DeVito's
to my
portrayal.
understanding, portrayal
That
was
makes
based
more
on
sense.
Dustin Hoffman.
We're really killing Stuart right now.
Oh my God.
No, it's
I
all
tried
good.
not to giggle right now because when I asked that question, I looked over at the store and he almost looked like he was going to kill me with his eyes. He's like, lady, we have another one of these to do.
How am I doing on time, Stuart?
We're at 2 hours.
Stuart,
What?
do you want any?
Ramen? No, I'm all right.
Okay.
Appreciate it though.
They're picking up ramen.
Oh, cool.
You wanted ramen?
Great.
I like ramen.
Do you guys want
Oh,
ramen?
I'm just kidding. No, not at all.
Our guest for the next episode is picking up ramen right now on their way.
So Cathy, what are you doing for your birthday tomorrow?
Watch it get Shorty. That's what.
Watch and be cool.
Yeah, watch and be cool. Oh yeah. So I already mentioned the box office returns of this movie and its Golden Globe nominations. But this movie is very successful in launching a few different aspects of careers. Barry Sonnenfeld, he is accepted as an adult director after this. He goes on to make Men in Black, and then immediately shoots himself in the Wild Wild West. Robot spiders are my favorite thing. Scott Frank gets a lot of notoriety after the script. Starts getting picked up for a lot more script doctor work, a lot of work in movies like this. He and Elmore Leonard have very similar writing styles, so he kind of adapts that into his future work. And then Travolta, this royally solidifies his return to the A-list after Pulp Fiction. Because after this, he'll be getting roles in films like Broken Arrow, Phenomenon, Michael, etc., etc.
Face Off.
Oh,
Great movie.
But this is the movie, because after Pulp Fiction, you could be like, was this a one-time fluke?
right.
Is he just back for this one movie where he's real successful and then he'll just fade into out of existence again?
Right.
But this is the one that everyone's like, okay, this was no fluke.
John
This was no
Travolta's
one-trick
really,
pony.
he really has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really got it and he's back to stay.
He's really got
Although
Shorty.
he is doing a lot of the not the same thing but similar things from playing
Yeah.
kind of, although he's not dumb like Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
He plays like a smart, suave, calculated figure in this.
His portrayal in this is very much in the same vein of solidifying his return.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to, do Pulp Fiction, then do something radically different.
Yeah.
This is just something to be like, hey, if you thought I was good then, look, I'm still great. And
Yeah.
then after this is when he starts branching out into things that aren't in the same vein as this.
Right.
Right.
With
Yeah.
Broken Arrow, which we'll be talking about next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie also convinces Gene Hackman that comedies are good, actually. He does The Birdcage right after this.
I
Oh.
love The Birdcage. Okay,
I watched that movie
good
twice in the past month, and it makes me so happy.
That's something
Yeah.
good that came out of this movie.
Mhm.
I love The Birdcage.
Birdcage is a good movie.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman is so funny in The Birdcage.
Yeah.
I think it was like, I hope this doesn't affect your vote. Actually, it's just been like, your way of life disgusts me. I hope you'll vote for me.
Well, all right.
Yes. Birdcage, great movie. Get Shorty, great movie.
One of those statements was true.
All of those statements were true.
Only one.
Do we have any final thoughts, both on this movie, on Travolta?
I think I said everything I wanted to say about this movie. I can't. I gotta let Stuart go. I can't say anything more.
I'm good. I feel like I got all my thoughts out.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right, I still got another about 30 minutes to riff. All right, so at exactly 1 hour and 20 seconds into this movie. No,
Wait, did we talk about Bette Midler at all?
we did not.
No.
I love Bette Midler. I
She's-
don't really have anything to say. I just love Bette Midler.
She's
And
playing-
I got excited when she was in the movie.
She's playing Gene Hackman's wannabe lover.
Yeah, she was good.
But because he's playing a parody of a Hollywood producer, he never sleeps with anyone who's his own age.
Yeah.
So which is why he's sleeping with 20-something Renee Russo instead of.
She's supposed to be 20-something in the movie. How old is she?
I
How old is
would
she?
say 30-something. 30
Okay.
something.
Isn't she like the wife though of the guy he was making the maybe Mr. Lovejoy with?
Yes, his producing partner who had passed
Yeah.
away, and she's now trying to move on to him.
Right.
Renee Russo is 67 now, so she would have been 20.
She would have
She would have been 40.
Yeah.
She would have been
was
around
40.
Yeah,
age.
that made
Yeah.
more sense. I was like, she did not look
Well, but Hackman was
Yeah.
probably in his 60s.
true.
Yeah, that would be the bit.
I would think this is one of your guys' really good Travolta movies.
I agree. This
Yeah.
is one of my favorites that we've covered.
Yeah.
I'm obviously an island in this.
No, I
You'll hitch to my island as well.
yeah, I will.
What did you think about this movie when it originally came out?
Oh,
Well, that's what I said, didn't I say? I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't something that I wanted to watch a lot. And I think I was more just paying attention to John Travolta.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of what they're saying.
What
He
year
hadn't
did it
been in
come out?
stuff in a while. Then he was in Pulp Fiction. What?
What year did it come out?
95.
95.
That's the year you were born.
I
Harry,
know. It was the year I
crazy.
was born.
October 20th of 1995.
Oh, so I was been alive for a month.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you probably didn't see it in the
I
theater.
did not see it in the
Yeah,
theater.
you probably didn't see it in
No.
the theater. Okay.
So I think I was just probably happy that he was making his return.
comeback, yeah.
I was happy for him.
I didn't even think to ask. You could have seen this one in its heyday.
Yeah. But I'm sure she's right. I'm sure I didn't see it. If I was going to see anything in the theater when you were like a baby, it probably was a John Travolta movie. So
Yeah.
I'm not positive I didn't see it in the theater, but
I mean, in that situation, like daycare, throw him right into daycare. And
No.
I'm seeing the new Travolta.
no. I didn't. I'm sure I didn't do that too.
I don't know.
But this was really enjoyable, guys. I think Stuart hasn't looked the same since we said this was a bit that's gone too far.
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of broke me a little bit, but that's okay.
I seem to do that to Stuart when I come on.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Stuart.
It's
I'm breaking the glass for you a lot.
We gotta plan a third return just so we can really break. We'll just come in and make him question like existence itself.
Folks, I am still very happy to be doing this podcast.
Yes.
I don't want anybody to have any illusions about that.
Yeah,
Just very tired.
Stuart's very tired. Me and him do honestly love doing this show together. It's a nice break on our weekends away from our jobs.
Aw.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And I get to see my good buddy every.
Aw, so sweet.
Yeah. I gotta butter him up after what I just sent him through.
Yeah. All right. Are we wrapping this up?
I think it's time.
I think
you,
that's
guys.
about it. Thank you guys for coming back in.
Thank
you
you
for having us.
very,
Two-timers
very
club.
much.
Two-timers club.
You're welcome.
You beat our other contender for Two-Timers Club by like 3 episodes.
Wait, who's our other two-timer?
We will
Nice.
be having one of our first guests back for Face Off.
Oh, Matabaldi.
He will be back for Face Off.
Oh, I love Face Off.
Nice.
I take his face off. Where's my pig?
Oh, God.
Where's my pig?
That's going to be a fun episode.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm really looking forward to doing Face Off. But you folks don't have Face Off to listen to next week. Instead, you have the precursor to Face Off, John Woo's second American film with John Travolta, the movie Broken Arrow. A hypothetically amazing episode, had we have already hypothetically recorded it, that we think you folks will really enjoy.
Yeah.
You make sure to check in next Tuesday for that on any place where you can listen to this podcast. While you're on those places, as a reminder, they are Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Please make sure to rate, review, subscribe, like the video if you're on YouTube. We appreciate every single comment, every single like, every single subscription. It helps our show. It helps us. We really do appreciate it from the folks who have been doing it. If you haven't, we implore you to throw us a bone. Special thanks, as always, to Rebecca Johnson for our graphic design, Michael Van Bodegum Smith for our theme music. I am forgetting the other stuff I always say.
Are you pulling up our final, our script?
Yes.
I think you
here.
said it all.
You can find us at Travolting Pod on Twitter or Instagram. You can pop to our Reddit, r/Travolting. You can email any comments or questions to travoltingpodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at Jeff W. Sweeney for all my hot takes.
Find me on Instagram at Stuart Elmore 95.
Is there anything either of our guests would like to plug?
No, you don't want to follow me on Twitter. Jeff knows you don't want to follow me on Twitter. No.
Should I plug Cooper's Instagram?
Sure.
I don't know what it is.
A damn fine dog.
Yes, follow A Damn Fine Dog on Instagram
Yeah.
for the best dog content of this side of the Mississippi.
Thanks
With
again,
that.
guys.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart, for being here.
Yeah,
And
Stuart.
see you
Having
folks
us.
next week on Broken Arrow.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.